And
YouTube
we are
thingy.
live. Welcome everybody to our daily success call for Thursday, the 2nd of April, 2020. John Lavenia here with you as I always am. Let's take a look at this beautiful group of people that we have joining us live here today. There's Pete. Look at the smile on Pete. Look at Pete and Christine. Oh my goodness. Hey, Esther. Hey, Mark. Good to see John Hyder's here. There's Michelle. She's on the phone. Hi, Michelle. Hey, Robin, Steve, Teresa. There's Loy and Nadia. I see you guys. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Robin. There's Yanis and Sylvia and Elizabeth. Hey, Elizabeth. Glad you're here. Carol Ann, welcome to you. Annie and Thomas and Jen and everyone. All right, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. I'm going to go ahead and mute our microphones so we can hear ourselves think. Welcome especially to our brand new members who I just got to meet just moments ago. Sandra, Victoria, Robert, Zainab, Debbie, Polly, and Cato. Welcome to the group. Hopefully you made it here on time, because our policy is if you can't be on time, be early. Not getting in this room. We are at capacity again. So good to see you guys all here. Of course, if you're joining us live on our YouTube live stream or on the recording, which is also on YouTube, we're glad you're here. And please keep tuning in. This is for you. That's why we do this. So we had a conversation going on just before we went live regarding LLCs and LTDs and business entities and Prime Corporate Services, United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, planet Earth. On that note, it's Thursday. So we typically devolve into a conversation about logistics on Thursday. It's just a weird pattern, which is why we always wrap up with Fun Friday tomorrow. So the rules are, make sure you come with a joke. Somebody's got to, at least one of us has to tell a joke tomorrow. And the other rules apply as well. If you can't be on time, be early. And if your dog barks while your microphone is unmuted, you must present the dog to the group. So we must have the whole dog experience. We're going to go ahead. Sandra says, John, I can't hear you. Oh boy. Can I get a nod if anyone can hear me? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Very good. All right. So Sandra, check your speakers. I actually had somebody on Skype yesterday. I won't mention who it was, but I was talking to them on Skype. They can't hear me. They can't hear me. They can't hear me. They had the mute button pressed on their computer, right? So it's just, do the computer thing. That's all. We're all online marketers now. Get your tech running. All right. So today we're going to talk about a couple of things. One is I want to first open up the microphones, because I know we were mid-conversation when the clock hit, the top of the hour, but we got to start on time. We were talking about entities. So I'm going to ask those of you who feel like you've got a question about entities that has not yet been answered. Let's go ahead and bring that out. And you can unmute your microphone as you like, and we will have that conversation. Unless everybody's complete with it, then we can move on. Sylvia's got the floor. Go ahead, Sylvia.
So my question was this morning, because I did enlist Prime Corporation, and I'm Canadian, and they assured me, yes, that I needed an LLC, and somebody else in the group mentioned that then I don't need that. I need an LTD.
Correct.
Is that correct? Do you know
Yes.
if that's?
So Prime Corporate Services is a third-party vendor that works closely with not just here, but entrepreneurs who are setting up entities for the first time. I will tell you that I've had rave reviews about Prime Corporate Services from Americans who don't already have an accountant. Okay, so with that combination, you're in the United States, you don't have an accountant, Prime Corporate Services can help you out for a fee, and it's not insubstantial. Okay, there's definitely a fee. Okay, now in Canada, I guess that's arguable. They have services in Canada as well, and everything they do is per jurisdiction. All right. Now, do you have to do Prime Corporate Services? No, you don't have to do anything. You can just as well do it. Call here in the States, it would be called the Secretary of State for whatever state you live in. Up in your province, I don't know. I'm not a tax attorney. I don't know that stuff. They're supposed to know that stuff. Are they the only source of that stuff? No, of course not. But they're one, and they're a good trusted source for a fee. Now, if somebody already has an accountant, maybe you've already got entities, maybe you've been running businesses before too, talk with your accountant first. They may have advice for you as far as, let's set up another LLC in the States, or an LTD in Canada, or in the UK, you just go to, the website, you do it right there. And it's like 50 quid or something, or whatever it is. So that's as per jurisdiction. Okay. But they are pretty intent on making sure you've got that set up. Prime Corporate Services is number one, because that's their work, right? They want to sell you their services. And number two, because once you get selling on Amazon, you won't want to have to think about that stuff. You got other things to think about, right? So get that done, get that out of your way. I hope that answers your question. It's inconclusive, but at the same time, it's your choice, right? So whatever you want to do with that, Sylvia.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Can I ask a question, please?
You can. Virginia's got the floor. Go ahead, Virginia.
Okay, so do you have to be a corporate company to sell on Amazon?
So
Do you have to have a corporation?
Okay, where are you located?
Canada.
Canada. Okay. So you will definitely want to have a business entity of whatever caliber. And I'll speak to you again as an American, because all I know is what I know. I've got LLCs, which are limited liability companies. They're pass-through corporations. They're the easiest to work with from an accounting standpoint. I've also got like an S Corp. So that's an incorporated type of entity that does other businesses. I run multiple businesses. Okay. So in your case, an LTD, whatever the lightest duty version of that is what you will want to have. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. We can actually go further down the rabbit hole when it comes into umbrella corporations and subsidiaries. So for example, if you had a holdings company, so this is, let's say, Virginia's Holdings LTD or LLC or whatever it is. And then under that is Virginia's Widgets. Okay. And now we've got one corporation that holds another one. The subsidiary does all the work. The subsidiary does the business in the marketplace, but doesn't own anything. The holdings company owns everything, but doesn't do anything, right? So in the case of, and again, I'm talking to you as an American, living in the most litigious country in the world, right? I think we've got more lawyers here than all other countries combined times 1,000. Okay, but who are you going to sue, right? You're going to sue the one that did you wrong, supposedly? Well, they don't own anything. They've got no assets. Are you going to sue the one with all the assets? Well, they didn't do anything, right? So now there you go. So that's one way to combat the nature of people who want something for free and frivolous lawsuits and things like that. Fortunately, I've never had to deal with any of that, right? And of course, I think everyone here is a person of integrity, and you're looking to do right in the marketplace, and do good work with your customers and business ethics and all this. Okay, well, that's nice. Thank you for being a nice person. Thank you for that. Okay, now cover your ass. All right, very good. Any other questions on these amazingly interesting and profound topics of accounting and paperwork?
John,
Okay. Yes. Come on out, Mary Beth.
is that the same as DBAs? Not the holdings. Like I'm unaware of that. So I have an LLC right now. Can I do DBAs under that, or and then? Okay, so that would be the main company, but I don't have to have that on like my products. I can do something.
Right.
Like,
So no, what I'm talking about, Mary Beth, is multiple companies, one that holds subsidiary companies. The holdings company doesn't do anything. The subsidiary companies do whatever they're going to do. Now, those subsidiary companies can do business as Mary Beth's Widgets, Mary Beth's Tea Bags, Mary Beth's whatever, right? So, and those are brands which you could offload for a nice payday. Should this brand, this doing business as, should this brand become something of worth to a big corporation and says, hey, here you go, Mary Beth, take a couple $1 million to walk away. We'll take that whole package, right? Good. So you've just offloaded that DBA. You still maintain your LLC.
Oh, I'm still confused about the holdings. Like what, can you give me an example of that? Like,
Sure. So here is, well, I don't know if this would qualify, but Google, right? So Google is a big corporation, and they have, I don't know what the name of the corporation is. I'm sure somebody on here does. But it's an entire umbrella corporation which owns Google search engine, YouTube, Google Maps, right? So these are other
Oh, okay.
corporations. So YouTube recently got sued by the Federal Trade Commission for like millions of billions of dollars, whatever it was, for violating child protection laws, because now we're targeting ads to children for, right? So whatever. So that was United States versus YouTube.
Got it. Okay, got it. Got
And
it.
they could destroy YouTube, but still the Google Corporation, which owns all this other stuff.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome. Okay.
Jo-
So,
John,
yes, go
one
ahead.
more question, John, Yanis. If I'm in the UK, and say for instance, I need to get such a company registered in the UK, but say for instance, I want to target the US as or Google, not Google, Amazon US as my main market. Is that good enough to have the company in the UK and trade as such in the US, or do
Yes.
I have to have a US company?
And I'll invite any Brits to come out here and clarify this. This has come up several times in our discussions. No matter where you are in your corporation, your body, right, wherever you are on planet Earth, you can use the Amazon platform and sell into the largest consumer market in the world, which is the United States and the UK and Australia and whatever, right? So any Brits that want to offer clarification?
Or whatever it is. And then under that is
No.
Virginia's widgets. Okay. And then
Oh, I'm hearing myself talking. Okay, that was. Oh, I think Mary Beth's got me playing in the background there. Okay, so Yanis, basically you're going to
I
be.
can come in a little bit on that, John, if you like.
Yes, thank you, Thomas, for clarification.
Okay, my understanding is that when you do the tax interview, because it's all about tax, when you do the tax interview, if you have a British corporation or a corporation from wherever you live, then you can trade on the Amazon platform by just fulfilling the tax implications and providing the EIN numbers to show that you are not you're not liable for US tax. But that only applies if the country that you are in has a treaty with the US over the tax implications.
Right.
Apart from that, you don't need to be an LLC. You don't need to have an American LLC to trade on the Amazon platform.
Very good. Thank you, Thomas. So the piece that I was missing, Yanis, was the treaty, right? So not all countries do business with the US in the same way. So since Amazon's an American company and every jurisdiction wants their taxes, you got to play ball with that.
And
so
Canada
the UK
is the
is
same
no
way.
problem. Yeah. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
I said in Canada is the same way.
Yeah. We're talking about, developed countries, first world countries, all good. Good to go. Okay. Very good. All right. Shall we move on? Anything else on that topic?
John, one real quick question.
Yes, sir. Richard.
Yeah, so I understand that you're not a CPA or a tax attorney, but just from a very high level, general level, benefits one way or the other to either an LLC or an S Corp?
Start with an LLC, and you could change it later if you want. S Corps have a bit more paperwork, and they have other purposes, right? I think for something like this, just keep it simple.
Cool. Thank you.
You are welcome. And your accountant certainly has better advice than I do on that. So, and that's one thing I'll tell you what, Richard, I'm not good at, and I don't intend to get good at, right? There's an old saying, develop your strengths and manage your weaknesses. And I'm going to manage those weaknesses with the strengths of the lady who does my accounting, who used to be an IRS auditor, right? So, and now definitely has a problem with the IRS. Thank you. You're hired. So, so there's that. Moving on, guys. By the way, Richard's brand new here as well. I got to meet you last night. We are blowing up, my friends. It has been a whirlwind of a week, and thinking about where we're going with all this. I know I've heard this question again and again, not only from new members, but from some of our people who've been here for a little while. And that is, what do we do in the interim while all this other, coronavirus stuff is shaken out? And so I wanted to give you just some insights on what Sophie's doing and what you can be doing, because most of us here are rather new, right? I mean, there are people who've been in this forum for some months. You've already got your business launched. Maybe you're watching me on YouTube right now. You're leaving these spots open for maybe our newer members, and you're off and running and working your businesses. I could tell you one of the things that that we're not doing is loafing, is sitting around, waiting, watching the grass grow and all this, right? In fact, I think I had this conversation with you guys yesterday or the day before. Yesterday, we talked about creating order in your day using calendar software, whether it's iCal or Google Calendar or Outlook or whatever you want to use. That's fine. The point is actually doing it. We also talked about Skype, right? Which is a nice tool for you to use, especially with all of our international reach, right? You definitely want to be able to get in communication with people rather easily, and Skype is a great tool for you to do that. One thing now that is a consideration, because I know a lot of people are looking at the possibility of getting products launched that are sourced internationally in places like, India and Hong Kong and Vietnam and Germany and places like this. And you may not be able to travel right now. Well, guess what? Sophie can't travel right now either. In fact, New Zealand is on lockdown, right? Nobody comes in or out. And I don't want to misquote, data here, but that's what I've been told, is that nothing's going in or out of New Zealand right now. Obviously, shipping can occur, but people aren't moving about in and out of that country. Their infection stats are rather low, and they want to keep it that way, right? So it's a bit of an isolationist strategy, and a lot of people think that's appropriate, and I think certainly the media will continue to have a field day with this for as long as they can keep pushing that message out there, which of course is being paid for by pharmaceutical companies. So right now, what can we do? I know Sophie is exploring self-publishing. So when we get into intangible products, things that are downloadables, ebooks, things like that, there are ways to impinge on that space without having been or choosing to be an author yourself. Now, in my case, and I think I mentioned this before, this is something that I personally am involved in because I've been in that space. That's mostly what I've been doing for the last 20 plus years as an author myself. I run books through Amazon, and that's nice. Is there something you can do with that? Yes. If you've been tuning into Sophie's live sessions on Fridays, which is today, because right now it's Thursday here in the States and in the UK. Once it hits 9 a.m. New Zealand daylight time, which is a few hours from now, right? 5 hours or so from now? What time is it over there? Let me look. Right now it's just after 5 a.m. So 5:18 a.m. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 hours. So 4 hours from now, when they go live, they're going to be talking with you about what's working now, right? So this is important stuff. These are things that you could do to execute. Now, if you're not through your first, 4 or 6 modules of your Blue Sky course, just stay the course on that. That's the foundation. That's the prerequisite to all this. But I can tell you that people are not sitting on their laurels. And when this whole thing blows over in a couple of weeks, it is going to be all hands on deck. So my suggestion to you is get through your Blue Sky programs diligently, not cramming, okay, but purposefully, consistently, okay? Choose your Amazon coach. There's going to be a couple of weeks lead time on that, okay, because there's a lot of demand, so many new students. Get through Jetstream, right? So get with your accountability reps. Everyone has an accountability rep. We just brought on 2 more. All right, so that is just growing. Like Blue Sky, Amazon, everything is just growing massively. And I know some of you had inquired about joining staff as well. So right now they're full, okay, because 2 more for now. And then there may be some additional needs there. Just so you know, if you're waiting for a call on that or everything, your stuff is on file, okay? But they filled that rather quick. The other thing would be to yes, go through the Jetstream stuff, because once we do a business launch strategy session with you, you're armed and dangerous. Like you're ready to rock. So, and there's some ways to go really fast. And those of you who have been through that session, you know that we can go really fast with Sophie's help and the help of the staff. So nobody's resting right now. This is a paradigm shift for a lot of people, especially if you're coming from an industry which has been impinged upon or has been diminished, in some cases down to a zero, because of the current, pandemic and all this, right? Restaurateurs and well, we can look at it in two different directions. Here's somebody who has a gym or a restaurant or something where people physically come in and participate in the experience of what that business provides, right? They're done right now. Okay, so that's all on hold. There's some questions about, how is that going to come back, right? How much longer can they be on hold, right? And there's stimulus bills and all that going on. But yes, it's definitely a time of change and uncertainty in that realm. Here's a different example. Here's emergency responders. Here's medical people and such, right? Busier than ever. And having to take extra measures to protect themselves. You know how many nurses we have? Like in this room right now, I'm not going to ask you to all raise your hand, okay? But we got a lot of medical professionals here, nurses, doctors, right? Yes, we want to create additional income streams online, right? The end result of your life isn't you dropping dead on the floor in the hospital and then just shoving you over to the side and, here's your replacement. I hope that's not the end result, right? So yes, we're thinking proactively. We're going to expand our reach into the marketplace. I mean, after all, cardboard boxes show up on your doorstep every day, right? Well, right now it's maybe every third or fourth day just because of the backlog, right? But the idea of engaging in e-commerce, that's certainly a stable platform. Okay, so your whole life, your whole identity isn't necessarily your emergency work, but at the same time, you're hosing yourself down with the disinfectant. You're stripping off your clothes when you come home from the hospital, right? Throwing them in the furnace or hopefully in the laundry machine. But like the whole idea of your workload just increased. So wherever you are on that spectrum, whether your restaurant is on pause or your day job is now double time, right? Either way, this reality of e-commerce exists for you. And this whole pandemic thing is temporary. This will pass, just like the last one did, just like the next one will. This one's getting a ton of press though, ton of press. So everybody relax. It's going to be fine. And we're going to get together. And I'll tell you what, somebody was asking me about this just the other day. We're going to get together in Vegas. And I know that was supposed to be a couple weeks ago. I was really excited about jumping on my Harley and heading down there, but I believe we're looking at August now for that. And, I think that's a pretty good projection. Of course, August in Las Vegas is a very interesting time to be in Las Vegas because it's going to be 120 degrees. It's going to be awesome. You'll see. It's great. Palm trees, cactus, nice. Pools. Everybody's got a pool. Same thing here in Phoenix. Right now, I'm loving it. It's like 80 degrees and sunny outside. I'm going to be crying about it here in about 2 months. So anyway, we're in good shape. My other suggestion to you would be stick close with your accountability rep and this group right here. This is, and I say this a lot to people who sometimes wonder or are amazed by how much focus there is in this program on you. As a being, as a valuable member of all this personal development aspect of this or any business is the biggest aspect of it. Because I've said this again and again, I believe anybody can show up and, do Amazon, maybe make some money, maybe make a lot of money. The big question is who's doing it? Who's doing it? So what I've focused on, and the reason that I was invited here in the first place is to work with you guys as powerful individuals and help that evolve, help that, bloom and unfold, because you've got so much ability, so much. And so just know that I know that, Sophie knows that, the staff knows that. We want to make sure you know that so through and through, that you got no question in your mind about where you're going with this, because we honor you. You guys are awesome. So anyway, there's my little offering for you today. Tomorrow, of course, is going to be Fun Friday. So everybody think of a joke. And with that, I'm going to stop talking. We're going to open up the microphones. Once again, Pete and Christine have their hand up. How proper, Pete and Christine. Why don't you unmute your microphone and tell us what's on your mind?
Okay. Hi, John.
Hey.
Christine, say hello. Hello. So, question. Yeah. Hi, John. How you doing? Anyway, so you
I'm
good?
great. And just seeing you, you guys are glowing. You're glowing. Like, look at
Glowing.
you. Yeah.
Not glowing. It's only like 10 degrees outside here, so we haven't got the heat like
No, you
you've
carry
got
your
there.
weather with you. Look at you. You're like a sunny guy. You're sunny.
Question, John. We've completed modules 1 to 4, and it says to pick your coach from there. For one, do we need a UK-based coach, or could it be any coach? And secondly, our second question is in the meantime, should we carry on with 5, 6, the rest of the modules in the meantime?
Yes, good questions. And the answer is it could be a coach from anywhere, consider the time zones. And yes, continue moving forward. Module 5 and 6 are beautiful, beautiful modules. Go through those.
Lovely.
Now you've got at least 5 products picked across at least 2 categories, right?
We haven't, we've not really got quite to that point at the moment. We're still sort of brainstorming on the idea of a product.
Okay.
So we're still or products. We're still
Yes.
looking into that in the moment.
Good. So 5 products across 2 categories before you meet with your coach. Book your coach now, select one. Okay. There might be a week or 2 lag time on that. Some coaches are like a month out. So, and I know they're adding coaches as well. Just like on our end, we added some new accountability reps on the Blue Sky office in Australia. They're already also putting in coaches. So, but go with what's available. They're all competent, all of them, right? Nobody got that seat because they're incompetent, right? So go with that. But at the same time, show up prepared, right? So, and I would say, Pete and Christine, your standards can be as high as you'd like, right? It's certainly not picking a product. Sophie listed over 100 products in her first year, right? So that's a matter of scale and standards, right? That doesn't mean you're going to throw, $500,000 at product experiments. Okay, so these are small launches. We feed the winners, we kill the losers. Okay, but we can't measure what we don't actually execute on, right? So here's 5, right?
Okay.
All right, good.
So five products across 2 areas, yeah?
Yeah, 5 products across at least 2 categories, and this will give you a bit of variety, and at the same time, kind of hone in on what you're looking at and how you're seeing things. Because when your coach looks at this, they're going to see it through their eyes, and they'll make suggestions about, well, here's what's right about this, here's what's wrong about this. I've had some people come back and say, I had my first meeting with my Amazon coach, and they said, my goodness, this is awesome. Run it. Fantastic. Well done. I've others say, you know what? I like these 2, these 3 are terrible, and here's why. I've had others say, I struck out, like all 5 are trash, right? Fantastic. Look how much money you just saved. That is great. Thank you, coach. Right. So yeah, but we can't optimize data that doesn't exist, right? So get that.
Lovely. Thank you, John.
My pleasure. Pete and Christine, ladies and gentlemen, get to know them. They are awesome people. Who's
Hey, John,
next?
I have a quick question for you.
Yes, sir, Ray.
Can you confirm, are we still at only 6 coaching calls, or have you heard anything about that changing in the
Yes,
near
I
future?
did. I did.
Would you like to
8.
share, please?
They upped it to 8.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Can I ask a question?
You can. Ray, you good? Oh, good. Okay, good. Yes. Who's next with the
Yes,
question?
good. Thank you.
Very good.
Yeah, that would be me.
Hi, me.
I just wondered where are people looking for product? Because I mean, Sophie's saying, oh, don't buy anything from China, and India don't deal with China, and India haven't got, e-commerce platforms or anything like that because they don't want the Chinese to copy them. So where the hell are you looking for product?
Okay. Very good. So what module are you on right now?
I'm in section 5, and I'm just done module 1 of section 5.
So you're in module 1, unit 5.
No, module 5, unit 1.
Module 5, unit 1.
I've done the first 4 modules.
Got it. Okay. Got it. So where have you looked so far out of all the training that you've been through?
Well, obviously, I've looked on Alibaba and places like that, and I've also done like Google searches.
Mhm.
And I found one today, but it was mainly like wholesale. But they say they do private labeling as well.
Okay.
So that was from a UK company. But I'm just sort of stuck in a quandary. That do I try the Alibaba route where everyone's going to jump on board, or is it better to try and source something from here and ship from here, because I understand the process is better from here?
Okay.
I just
Right. So here's the thing. Blue Sky is a contrarian program. As Sophie says, when most people zig, she zags. I like that, because most people, when they look at Amazon and what people are attempting to do, they're just doing arbitrage between China and the United States. Here's Alibaba, and now me and 10,000 other people are going to sell that item. We're going to take pictures of it differently. We're going to write our copy differently. We're going to price it differently. Mine's 10 cents less. You should buy it from me. That's a race to the bottom. That is not the game you want to play. Blue Sky products, by explanation, are things that you can make a proper markup on, 30, 40%, maybe even more, right? Case in point, Sophie's first brand that she sold, tea bags from Nepal, right? So here's 20 different varieties of tea. Tea already exists, but it's not this tea. This is better tea. This tea costs more. Look at the pictures, read the copy, pay me the money, right? She did that to the point where here comes a larger tea and beverages corporation, says, here's $1.2 million to walk away, right? So what does that have to do with Alibaba and China? Nothing, right? So yes, Alibaba and China is valid, and she lists products from China too. Right now, I think China's, not on the high list of where you want to source from a whole lot, but you could. And then here's India and Nepal and Vietnam, which, by the way, Sophie was talking with me about Vietnam. She said, my goodness, the quality of stuff that they make in certain categories out of Vietnam, amazing stuff. And they're not dealing with the tariffs that China's dealing with, right? To get the stuff into the States. We like Vietnam. Okay, great. So that's current stuff, right? Maybe tomorrow it's, hey, you got to check out what they're doing in the UK, right? Or for that matter, the United States. We got so many Americans here who are going to source stuff domestically, whether it's private label stuff, right, or different, packages. One of the topics I know that Sophie covers with her advanced students, which all of you who are going through Jetstream, you're getting an idea about some of the stuff that's coming your way when you're ready to do this, like hardcore. Okay. So some of the things she talks about is like subscription box, that model, right? And different package kind of things, Shopify, right? So here's sourcing with Shopify, and so there's a lot. And again, I'm not, Thomas, in my case, I'm like the town philosopher here, right? I'm not an Amazon coach. We've got Amazon stuff. We got business there. I run multiple businesses, but your Amazon coaches, which, have you met one yet, Thomas?
Not yet, no. I've got one booked on the 9th, I think.
Okay.
Or the 10th, no, the 10th, 9th or the 10th, it's one of the two.
Okay, so you're a few days out, because this whole, you're going to get clarity, a lot more clarity on stuff when working.
Yeah, but I'm
with someone.
supposed to go, like you said, I'm supposed to go with them with 5 product,
Mhm.
5 product across two categories, is it?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
where are people actually looking for the product? Because if I'm not looking at Alibaba, I've tried looking at India, and I come up with something called Global Sources, and it ended up taking me back to China.
Sure. Well, India's not up to par in terms of internet stuff. That's why a lot of people go to India. Davina has the floor. Go ahead, Davina.
Hi.
Good to see you, by the way. Look at you.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. I jumped on board, and you know what that means. If you go into, you probably can't see this, but this is the coaching flight path. It's in our navigators. It's under the coaches. And Sophie gives some areas. She gives a bunch of different websites that you can go on to search for products. So maybe that'll
right.
help you.
Thank you very much. That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
Well, that was one of the first things you were handed when you walked through the door. No?
Oh, was it?
Yes, it's in the first module. Well, but the pre-module.
Well,
The
and then that
pre-module.
one,
The
and then
Welcome
the
to
one,
Planet
yeah.
Earth module. Hi, Thomas. Welcome to Earth. Here's a document. I'm joking.
so the ones,
And then, and I know
also the
yesterday,
niches.
yes. And I know yesterday we were talking about organization. So what I do is, you know, how to stay organized. Like as I go through the modules, I have a separate spreadsheet where every time Sophie mentions a website or something, I include the website name, what's the purpose of the website, and I copy the link into the spreadsheet. So because, you know, as all of you know, when you go through the modules, you know, Sophie's always rattling off all of these different websites and things. So I just keep a single spreadsheet for every website that Sophie has ever mentioned.
I do the same thing.
So whether if it's for branding or packaging or product ideas or whatever, I just keep a list.
Good.
So
Good thinking.
Davina and Bernadette, you both do that?
Yes, that's what I do. Yes.
Can you demo that? Because look, I'm not a spreadsheet guy. Thomas, are you a spreadsheet guy? Thomas?
I can use spreadsheets, yeah.
Okay. I'd love a demo on that.
Not for me. I use paper.
Okay.
I'm a paper and pen person.
Yeah, and I just put it in the
Um,
spreadsheet with the website name, the purpose, and then I just add the link so I can click on the link anytime I need it.
That
Can
sounds a
we-
lot more organized.
Can I, and Bernadette, this is a lot to ask, and I don't mean to put you on the spot publicly, but I know you and we're from Jersey and all that, okay? Is that a file that would be distributable just within our closed group here?
Sure. Mhm.
Okay. That's big. That's big, everybody. So, thank you.
Another good way of doing that, John, is I just created a folder on my bookmark bar that says products. And every time I see a product that, oh, I wonder if I should look into that, but I'm just kind of brainstorming, I'll just
Do that
throw that link. Yep. You know, it's the same concept, Bernadette, just a different tool to use.
And
I think one thing we have to remember too is at the very beginning, I struggled with this too, Thomas. It was like, how do you find a product? And I was tuned into the internet. And then all of a sudden, I kind of just let my mind expand beyond the screen of my computer. And suddenly there were things just walking around in my house. All of a sudden I looked at something and I went, oh, you know, I could do that better. I wonder
that's
if
exactly what I did. And that's,
and that's one of my products now that
I know. And my first product I found in a catalog that I got in the mail. And that's what triggered the idea. And Sophie actually approved it because I'm in her advanced course. And she actually thought it was a good idea. Yeah, and I found it in a catalog that came to my house randomly.
So the takeaway is don't just limit yourself to the screen. Just kind of look around, you know, in your environment every day. And all of a sudden something will hit you and it'll go, oh, never even thought of that.
Can I say something?
You can, and then I know we got Carol Ann and David waiting. To talk. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
some of my sources have been, I go into trade shows, India, Germany, anything, and they'll put exhibitors. Of course, this year, a lot of them have been canceled, but still you go into exhibitors and then you take their email address, you go into their sites, websites, and you cannot imagine how many products. I mean, I went to one that's called Ambiente, which is in Germany, and it's in February. It was in February. And I'm still going through letter E. And you have zillions of exhibitors of all kinds, kitchen, homeware, everything, house, gourmet, anything.
And on my list of, on my spreadsheet list, one of the sites that's supposed to be mentioned is called 10 Times. And that's the list of all of the trade shows and exhibitors that, you know, Annie's referring to. Yeah, so when you're doing your training, just keep a separate list of everything she mentions. And, you know, I recommend that from an organizational perspective.
If you have a specific source, then just put in the
Put it in, but yeah.
trade shows for, I don't know if you want car parts or, health.
Hey, hon, what?
And they have zillions of trades.
Hey,
And
what's up?
Okay, I cannot believe. I mean, I wish I could be there because you have zillions and wonderful things from the UK that I could see, and I have them. I write them down, but there are so many people you can just search from there, and that's a great way to do it.
We're actually going to Ambiente in February. So for those of you who want to participate in that, get through your Jetstream, get with your accountability rep, get on a private session with me, and we'll show you what the ins and outs are of that. So that is on the map. Thomas, you had something else?
Thank you very much. That was just awesome information. Thank you. Appreciate that from
And
all
there's
you
Thomas.
ladies.
There he is. Look at you, brother. That's good, man. We love you. Thank you for bringing up the question. Because look, I need to hear stuff a few times too, because there's so much that we can put our attention on here. We're gonna go to Carol Ann and then David. Carol Ann, please.
Just a quick thing that I missed the call yesterday, so I caught it this morning about the calendar and all that stuff. And then today with the spreadsheet and everything, because I'm also like, I write everything down and I've got books and large pages. So I was thinking this is crazy because it's getting so confusing, but yesterday's call and today is kind of like shrinking it and putting it into a nice little package where so awesome. It's
Oh, thank you.
a lot of good stuff here today and yesterday.
Then
Thank
the
you.
other thing that I do from an organizational perspective on my hard drive, I have folders, for account setup, product research, websites, whatever. And every time I take a module or every time they post something in Product University or whatever, I download that file into the specific folder. So I have everything organized by category in one folder. So John, that's how when you ask for something and I'm able to get to it so quickly and post it to the group, because I have it all categorized that way on my hard drive.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
There you go. I love order. Thank you, Bernadette.
Oh, me too. I can't function without.
Yeah. David,
You
Gibbs.
said that yesterday. I was right there with you.
Oh, right. Thank you. David, you got
Hey,
a comment?
John.
Oh, we're going to go to David next. He's had his hand up forever. David?
So,
There he
so what I'm thinking is that you have to find your products first. You don't have to go to India or somewhere else. You just have to figure out what you want to sell and then access demand and access to make sure that it has profitability first. And then those are the products you want to go to your accountability, or not your accountability rep, but just go to you with, or whoever your coach is. So first you have to figure out the products that you want to try to sell and access the demand and assess the profitability. Is that correct?
Yeah, and the competition. Yeah, and you don't have to physically be in India to do that. So,
No.
yeah.
So and then you take assess your profitability and demand by going to these places that you're going. You can go to India and then figure out how you're going to source those products.
Right.
You can source online as well, and that's also part of your
Yes.
training. But there's some unfair advantages to being in locations that source on the ground and don't use the internet. And India is one of them. In
Yes.
fact, they deliberately will not use the internet lest the Chinese grab a hold of it and make their cheaper plastic version and undercut India on price. So
But
just know
what you
that
can
there's-
do, but my understanding is what you need to do is to figure out what products that you do want to sell.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Let's pick some targets. They may or may
Yeah.
not be good targets, but that's why you have a coach. So yeah, you'll do just fine. You got the concept there, David. Very good. I see others with their hands up now. If we're resorting to that, Mark and Kathy.
I
Yes,
put my
John.
hand up.
Okay.
It's a little box over there. Hit your participants. Can you hear me okay?
I can, and thank you guys for keeping order. I know sometimes it gets a little random on here. Go ahead, Mark. You've got the floor.
Okay. I want to circle back around to the limited liability function for a moment. I actually found an excellent document. It's a UK document from the Assets Publishing Service.gov.uk. And it discusses the UK limited doing business in the US. The US states each have their own laws and rules regarding corporations and limited liability companies and holding companies and so forth. They typically honor any US corporation, limited or whatever. Each state honors another state's. Mine, I'm in Alabama, so mine's an Alabama holding company. It gets really confusing, and this document explains quite a bit of it and goes into liability. It talks about lead paint on children's toys, even the hazards of importing toys that would be harmful to children. It's an excellent document, and I highly recommend it. I'll post the link to it in the chat so that you all can see it. But I recommend reading this before you make a decision on how to organize your company.
Thank you. Very
Thanks.
good. Appreciate that. You can post that in the chat if you would. That would be fantastic. Looks like you're on a mobile device, so you may have to click a couple of links to find the chat. Let's go to, I think Gabby wants to talk. Gabby?
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Hi, Gabby. Yeah, go ahead. Speak up.
Hi, I just thought it would be, people might be interested in Helium 10. You get the Freedom ticket with it when you sign up for some of it. And they had modules 26 and 27 were about where to find suppliers. So in addition to Sophie's thing, there's a lot of suppliers and ways to find suppliers through that too.
Yes. Helium 10 is going to give you a ton of training because they're in business to sell you Helium 10 and make sure you're happy using it. So definitely good stuff there, Gabby. Thank you. Right, Esther, and then we're going to open up the floor again. Esther, come on out. Esther.
Trying to
How's that,
unmute myself, sorry.
There she is.
Where do you find the spreadsheets? Do you have to buy them online or something?
Well, no, we were just talking about that with Bernadette. She's going to share a spreadsheet and people are posting links here in the chat. You know what I'm going to do today? Because this chat is so chock full of stuff. I am going to make the archive of this chat available in the description of the YouTube video. So once we're done talking here, which is going to happen any second now, I'm going to go ahead, let the video render, grab the chat, and post it into the description of YouTube. All right? So you guys can come back and look at the archive of the chat. Because I know sometimes I hear people say, oh, I didn't have time to copy and paste from the chat, and now it's gone. Okay, so I'm going to make sure you get that chat today, which is
thank you.
Something that I can do on my end. Just takes a little time. You're welcome. All right. Anybody else? Burning desires. We're at 48 minutes past. Burning desires today. You got to talk, or you're gonna jump off a cliff and end it all. Nope. Everybody good? We're done. I will see you guys tomorrow for Fun Friday. You guys have an awesome day. It brightens my day to see you all here. So thank you all.
Amazing joke for tomorrow.
Oh, my pleasure. You guys have a good one. We'll see you
You're the
soon.
man.
Thank you, John.
Bye.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Thank you.